This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You're listening to the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. And now, here's your host, Lisa Rangel.
Welcome, and hello. Welcome to the 22nd episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. I'm Lisa Rangel, host of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast and founder of Chameleon Resumes. We are an executive resume writing, LinkedIn profile development, and job search consultancy firm that helps executives and high potential leaders land their next position faster. Today's podcast show topic is a little different than the topics that we've been discussing up to this point. Today's episode is on fun stuff to do when you are not working. Now, this may be an odd topic to some, but let me tell you how it came to be in my experience. In roughly 2007 or 8, I started to feel like my job was unstable due to the exuberant economic activity that was going on at the time. It just didn't feel stable. I saw others getting laid off, and I wondered if or when my time would come. And during this time, I saw friends of mine laid off, take time to recharge and do awesome activities on the fly and planned that a working executive just doesn't have time to do as often as they like, even if they have a fulfilling, balanced life. Working 40 to 60 hours a week or more can sometimes put a damper on regular fun activity time as adults, as we all know. So I started to keep a list. I called it the things I would do if I wasn't working list. And each week I would add something to the list based on my interactions with people, during the week that I had and learning what people were doing when they didn't work. Now, I did aim to do some of these activities while I was working. I didn't just wait for the day that I may not be working. However, with 2 kids, a hubby, full-time executive role, and just family commitments in general, it was a challenge to sometimes do more than one of these activities per week, if at all. So I maintained a list. That gave me hope. And then unexpectedly, but not surprisingly, based on the economic activity at the time, I did lose my job in March 2009. And after I put some of my job search strategy in play that I've been talking about in all these previous episodes, I then pulled out my list of fun things I would do if I wasn't working. So in addition to knowing and doing job search activities that you need to do before you need them, I'm telling you, you need to keep a list of fun things to do that you'll do when you're not working. And you need to have that list too, that fun items, fun activities list. You have to have that working before you need it also. Having this list ahead of time helped me stay positive. There were days that I woke up going, oh my God, what am I going to do today? This way, I had it planned already. I had it written down. I always had something to do. And I wanted to share some of these activities with you. Because I'm telling you, when you're not working, after working so long and so much, it's easy to some days slip into not sure what I should do phase, or even sometimes a depressed state when everyone else in your home is off to school or off to work, and even your friends are out working. It's easy to slip into a funk without a plan. So the key is to have a plan, so not only you know what to do to find your job because you've been working at that before you needed it, but to also what to do to relax. You should have that plan somewhat started on a list before you need it as well. We've spoken up till now about how to protect yourself from job loss, and now I want to help you have fun while you're off too. So first, let's review what we've covered so far in past episodes, and then we're going to get into the fun activities that I did and some other suggestions from others that I want to share with you. So in past episodes, we talked about the only way to truly protect yourself from job loss is to pretend you're fired today and make a list of activities you would do to start finding your next job. And doing proactive activities to keep yourself in demand when you don't need a job is the key element in this Pretend You're Fired Today action list. Keeping your network primed and active so you stay in the forefront of your network's mind to create demand for yourself consistently. That's the key. And we want you to be in demand when you need it. So build it before you need it. This way, if your job situation changes unexpectedly, you already have pent-up demand for what you want to do by doing activities that we've discussed in prior episodes, as well as what we're going to discuss today. As we said in episode 1, the first thing to do on that list, the Pretend You're Fired Today list, is to dust off that resume and get it up to speed. And we covered in the first 8 episodes how to format the resume to today's trends to get maximum impact. And we spent the next 4 episodes focusing on your LinkedIn profile, equally as important document. And the last few episodes covered topics such as 5 most common career mistakes I see smart people make every day, how to work with recruiters, how to set up informational interviews, how to stay in demand with your competitors, how to make job boards work for you. 3 easy ways to connect with your network when you don't need them. And you're going to want to revisit those episodes because there's even more topics that we covered that I haven't mentioned yet today. But today we're off in a different direction. We're going to have fun. So let's dive in. When I found myself unexpectedly unemployed in March of 2009, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. So even though I had built up this demand for what I was doing, I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I really needed to have fun. So thankfully, I had this list of fun things to do if I wasn't working because it really helped me get out of my own head. This list saved me and helped me stay sane and focused. And here were some of the things on my list that I did and some additional suggestions that may spark some ideas for you. So priority number 1 for me was fitness. I was overworked and under-exercised, let's put it that way, and I always wanted to get back into running. I ran in high school, and I had a love-hate relationship, more love than hate, but it had fallen by the wayside for me at the time. And so not working, I was like, this is a great opportunity, and I wanted to get back into running. So I ended up training and I ran 3 half marathons over 2009, 10. And not only did I get in great shape, but the running time helped me think and strategize my next moves. Take a class. Second item, take a class. Something you always wanted to learn. It could be a formal in-person class. It can be an online class. It can be just lessons you commit to yourself to do even on YouTube. For me, I took local yoga classes and I took online classes in change management through an online university. This is extremely helpful for me, and I also networked with fellow students. Even networking in the yoga class, for lack of a better way of putting it, meeting new people can lead and did lead for me to other opportunities that I wouldn't have even suspected would have come from going to a yoga class. So definitely take yourself up on those types of opportunities as well. Third thing I did was I made a list of college and high school friends that I had lost contact with, and I took the time to seek them out and connect. I went through Facebook, LinkedIn, and I reconnected with a bunch of old friends. And those that were local, I went for coffee or lunch with, and those that were overseas or just in remote places, not where I am, we did phone calls and that sort of thing. So it was really a lot of fun, and I ended up signing up for my college reunion the following year, which I don't know if I would have done if I hadn't done some of these initial reconnection efforts. So this was really awesome, and inadvertently as well, it ended up creating some business opportunities for me through these friendly interactions that were really had started out with just genuinely wanting to reconnect with people. So it was a win-win all around. Fourth, I encourage you to engage in self-care. Take care of yourself. Take the time to take care of yourself. For instance, get a massage. Get a few massages. If you're unsure about cash flow during the unemployment period, look for a massage school that offers discounts for their students to get practice. There are many ways to get a good yet affordable massage. And if you've been saving for the rainy day, this unemployment being your rainy day, and you have the resources, just get a good massage. Take care of yourself. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you look good. It's like a chicken or the egg kind of thing. I'm not sure which comes first, but when both are happening, both happen, if that makes any sense. Now, the fifth thing, read a non-work-related book. Read a few of those, to be frank. Escape into the story. Read a book that you have no purpose to read for other than enjoyment. And give yourself time to enjoy that escape since you don't have something to run to right away. Just take the time and luxuriously enjoy a non-work related book. I cannot emphasize just how awesome that is. Lastly, and this is by no means least, there's so many more ideas after this last one, but I like this one too, and I like doing this, is be a local tourist. Go see local art, history museums, sporting events in your area. Be a tourist. And being a tourist doesn't always have to involve getting on a plane or a train or a long automobile ride. If you live near a major city, when was the last time you pretended to be a tourist in that city? So do this. You can do this. And you can, even after you do the local tourist thing, be an overseas tourist. Get on a plane, get on a train, take a long automobile ride. Do that as well. But you can do it locally, and you can do it over a number of days, and you'll be surprised just how rich the history is of your local area and how interesting it is. And you'll network, you'll meet people in your area in a non-work setting, which is always so much more comfortable to start talking to people. So would any of these activities be on your list? Do you even have a list? On that note, I want to take action. on today's episode. What would be on your list if I wasn't working? I wish I had time to do that list. Would it be fishing? Would it be joining a gym? Would it be learning how to cook certain cuisine, catching up on Homeland episodes? All right, I just admitted a guilty pleasure there. Movies. Seriously, put activities on your list that help you relax, in addition to those that have a purpose in terms of helping you improve yourself and your well-being. Relaxing and having fun is just as important as self-development. And the key is to keep this list active. Do this while you don't need it. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, try to do some of it while you're working. But some of it isn't, it's just not possible to do all of it while you're working. And keep some of it for if you are ever not working. Keep this list active. And as you come across things that you wish you can do now, but you just can't right now, put it on the list. Keep that list close. Capture ideas as they arise. This exercise helped me greatly. And I'm so proud of you for taking these steps to make yourself marketable, to have stuff ready, even though you don't need it yet. It's huge. Most people wait for the unexpected job change to happen, and then bam, they're trying to learn all this information and scrambling. It's just a major gift that you're giving yourself by doing this before you need it and learning about it before you need it and listening to this podcast. So kudos to you for learning and doing this before you need it. My friend saved me with her priceless advice of pretend you're fired today. And I'm paying it forward here with you. I ask you to think of 2 or 3 people that you feel would benefit from this build your network before you need it. Build your demand before you need it advice. And then pay this sentiment forward and share this podcast with them so then they can benefit from this advice as well. And for the next few episodes of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, we're going to continue through a list of tactics and activities to do now, as if you were let go today, to ensure that you're always ready for whatever the world brings your way. Again, first item on the list was your resume. We cover that in episodes 1 through 8. The second item on the list was updating your LinkedIn profile, which you can review in episodes 9 through 12. And in the last few episodes, some of the topics we covered, by no means exhaustive, so you're going to want to revisit these, but some of the topics we discussed are 5 most common career mistakes I see smart people make every day, how to work with recruiters, 3 easy ways to connect with your network when you don't need it, and again, so many other topics that we've covered in the last few weeks. And today we went on a different tangent. We talked about having a list of fun activities you can do when you're not working. So, because if your job is suddenly gone, even knowing this precious job search advice ahead of time, you're going to have idle time on your hands. And idle time can mess with your head. Prevent that from happening by having a list of fun activities to do ahead of time. And this way you'll stay sane and positive, which is the mindset that you need to land a job fast. Doing some of the fun stuff suggested in today's episode will prepare you to interview confidently. In our next few episodes, we will discuss interview preparation techniques to help you crush the interview and get the offer. It will also help you with your performance reviews that are upcoming, because obviously we're doing this while you're working. So to prepare for the next episode, go to interviewprepsheet.com and download our thorough interview prep sheet, and be ready for the next episode. We will discuss how to have a mindset to crush your next interview or even your next performance review. Again, go to interviewprepsheet.com and download our interview prep sheet to be ready for the next session. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Have a great week.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.